A massive thank you to Dino, Snowy, George, Bowie and Z3GD for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below.
Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with the finale of Season 2 of our F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Apologies that there was no video yesterday. I've been busy trying to sort out a few things behind the scenes as we head towards Season 3 here. But yeah, the finale of Season 2. If you missed out on the Australian Grand Prix a couple of days ago, I would definitely recommend going back and checking it out. But yeah, one race to go here of Season 3. We'll quickly head through all of our promotional stuff before we get into the final race of the year there. Fingers crossed the last couple of upgrades get on the car, and then we can really set ourselves up nicely and see what is going to happen for Season 3 there. The rotors have gone on. Obviously, we won't be able to get any more upgrades in before the end of the year there. All the money into the bank as well leaves us currently
without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
So that's good to see then. So we are now better than Aston Martin there, as Ferrari and Red Bull make some gains as well this weekend. Aston Martin, yeah, really have dropped the ball in the last few rounds of the year there. But it does mean we have still got one aero upgrade currently in the works as well there. But championship-wise, all to play for in the final race of the year there. Stroll, Sainz, Russell and myself separated by just 8 points. So if we get a good result this weekend, we could elevate ourselves all the way up into 7th place in the World Championship. It's highly unlikely we'll lose the place to Pierre Gasly there, and there's a huge drop-off to Fernando Alonso behind us there. Constructors-wise as well, again, AlphaTauri, if they get a miracle, they could jump us in the final race of the year there, but fingers crossed that shouldn't be possible as well, of course. It really sort of simmered down after Albert Park last time around there. A lot of the championship stuff has been decided, but a 4-way scrap for P7 overall in the Drivers' World Championship. Hopefully, fingers crossed at the very least, we can get one of those guys. Well, it's always a bit funny heading back to Abu Dhabi for the final race of the year, but it certainly has been a season of learning for us, of course. Happy to announce as well that you guys have voted in favour of Valtteri Bottas joining us, ready for Season 3 there. So he had almost the Season 1 champion now joining the team, ready for the new season. We've got some exciting driver transfers as well. Like I mentioned, I think, in the video at Australia, we think Fernando Alonso is retiring at the end of the season as well, so someone's going to have to fill in the seat over at Alpine. Of course, someone's now going to have to fill the seat over at Williams as well, so very exciting. Of course, I'm sure we'll see some other movement as well there. Of course, we will be doing a driver transfer video in the coming days as well. A massive thank you for 18,000 subscribers on the channel. It is an absolutely mind-boggling number that we're up to now here on F1 at 2021. Less than 2,000 away from my ultimate goal to 2021, which was, of course, to try and hit 20,000 subs as well. So if you aren't already and you're watching this video, it would be massively appreciated if you would hit that subscribe button there as we try to hit that 20k goal by the end of the year. Now, I'll be honest, my main goal for 2021 was actually 17.5k, but yeah, you guys have smashed it with the love on F1 2021, and I cannot thank you guys enough. So yeah, we're going to keep on with all the content. I'm going to try and provide for you guys with as many videos as I possibly can as well there. But yeah, let's just get on with this weekend. We're around in the final couple of corners then to finish off our race simulation run. Have definitely started to get a little bit more pace and a little bit more confidence in the car. Their top end speed has been really good all year there, and that final upgrade has helped.
You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
Purple score there. Let's see what's next. Right, well, on to the ERS test then. This one should be fairly simple in theory. It's more about just trying to make sure we get the lap time in. Going to just be careful, use it down the big straights. That's probably the key aim there. It's still turn 2 and turn 3 are not flat out in this car at the moment, though. They should be in qualifying trim at the very least. But yeah, really just trying to chuck it over the curbs. Learning which ones you can attack, which ones you need to avoid a little bit more. And yeah, hopefully we can find a good balance. Round in the final couple of corners, though, it is going to be a bit close on this second run, but let's just wait and see what we can do. Oh, we're going to be just under the delta. Oh!
Complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can talk you through the numbers.
1,000th of a second there. You love to see it. Let's get into qualifying. Well, as the sun starts to set here in Abu Dhabi, marks the sun setting on yet another Formula 1 season. But fingers crossed we can finish the year with a bit of a bang and make it back through into Q2 at the very least here. Car feels really quick, I'll be honest, around this track, feeling quite comfortable with the pace so far. Haven't really gelled with Abu Dhabi that much in years gone by. But yeah, this weekend I'm feeling quietly confident, I'll be honest. I'm sure that'll come back to bite me. So we head through the first sector of our opening qualifying run. That felt pretty good. Oh, a little bit deep there though. That's not going to help us out. Well, it's certainly been a bit of a ragged lap up to this point as we head through the final few corners. Oh, a little bit wide there as we go under the hotel. As we just try and explore the grip limits here on Saturday night. And the final couple of corners though, avoid that sausage curb on the outside. And then through the final turn down towards the line. Get on the power nice and early. It's going to be a 32.7.
Fuel now. The tank is empty.
Slower than Bottas and Schwartzman. We're definitely going to have to go out again there. But really, that time, I feel like we can find most of that time still. Yeah, I think if we safely want to make it through into Q2, we're probably going to need about another second on this run here. But if we're not really improving by a lot, we might have to bail out there and go out for a third run in this session because we haven't got much time left on the clock as we head back down through turn 1 there again. Just getting a little bit ragged through the first couple of corners here. Whoa! And that's why we've always got to avoid that curb through turn 3. That's going to put pay to our second run there and pretty much destroy this set of tyres as well. Going to have to go out for one final last-ditch attempt. Right, last qualifying session then of the year, and we've got to put it all on the line. We want to try and make it back through into Q2 here. Round in the final corner, about to start this lap. Nice and early on the throttle. And fingers crossed, yeah, like we said, we need about another second if we want to safely make it through there. We probably might sneak it with sort of 6 or 7 tenths. Again, big old wobble through the first couple of corners there. Lifting out on the throttle. You can see just how we're trying to modulate as we head through turn 2 and turn 3 there. Of course, this is where we made a mistake on our first run. That was a whole lot better that time around. Straight up into the green. And then really try and late apex the hairpin, or apparently just don't get anywhere near the apex on the exit of the corner there. Still nearly 2 tenths up as we head out of Sector 1. So that's exactly what we need to see there. We were pretty decent through Sector 1 on our first run. It was actually Sector 2 and Sector 3 where we lost a lot of the time. A bit of a wobble there as we just clip the sausage curb with the outside wheel. As we get on the power again, really nice and tidy there. Now half a second up as we head down the back straightaway. This is what we like to see as we head in towards Sector 3 here. Now we just can't afford to make any mistakes in the final few corners of the lap. Really attack the curbs though through the triple chicane. Open up the run as best as you can on the exit there, and again using up all the curbing as we head down in towards the final sector of this lap there. Try and just keep it clean and tidy. 6 tenths up now. No, come on, don't do anything stupid, Matt. Don't do anything stupid. Through the final couple of left-handers. Just 2 more rights to go. We're 6 tenths up at the moment. It is going to be mighty close if we're going to make it through into Q2 here. We have given it absolutely everything as we head through the final corner. 7 tenths up, down towards the line. P15. Oh, that feels so much better than it should. Finally back into Q2 here on F1 2021. Really did feel like I gave it everything on that lap there, but it was actually Verstappen quickest, the only man down into the 129s there. But both 2 and 2 Motorsport cars into Q3 for the final appearance of the year there. You love to see that. Unfortunately, of course, we have used all 3 sets, so not optimistic we're going to get much more than P16 on the grid there. But maybe if there's some grid penalties, that can help us out nonetheless there. Ferrari looked quick this weekend, so Sainz might be able to solidify P7. But yeah, that felt good. Right, so we've headed back out then on the same set of tyres as we used for our Q1 fastest run there. But as the track has got cooler, time seemed to have improved a fair bit as well. So fingers crossed we can get back down in towards the 131s. I think Schwartzman's done a 31.5 as a pretty decent benchmark for us here in Q2. But of course we're now going to have no delta to go up against from our previous run. No idea why they can't implement that, even if the weather does change a bit here on F1 2021, but I guess I'm just got some wishful thinking at the moment there. Big chunk of curb actually as we head in towards Sector 2. Make sure we actually clip the apex this time around. That's what we like to see. As we roll on the power on the exit out onto the back straight. And a pretty decent lap so far as we head out here. Schwartzman currently up in P13. This would be nice if he could get ahead of the Alpine and the Williams. Try and finish the season with a bit of a bang. Not too sure if he's got anywhere confirmed for next year. There is a huge amount of understeer out onto the back streets for the second half. yeah, not too sure if Schwartzman's got a seat for next year, whether he's been in talks with anyone else. Might go to Alfa Romeo. Might be even looking at Alpine if Alonso is out the door as well. But we are doing pretty well so far on this lap there as well. That's a bit ragged over the curbing. Certainly, yeah, trying to push the limit there. Oh, don't want to hit that sausage curb. Did not want to hit that sausage curb. Big wobble on the exit now as we head down in through the triple right. Again. Whoa! Yeah, don't want to hit that sausage curb either. It'd have been a pretty decent lap up to that point. But I'm not sure whether the tyres would have hung on in Sector 3 there. It is P16 on the grid. I think let's just dive in then here to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
So here we are, ready to go racing for one final time this year. Another season of victories, controversies and rivalries lies in our wake. And just one challenge remains here in the United Arab Emirates on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We have 21 corners here at the Yas Marina circuit, 12 to the left and 9 to the right. It's a total lap distance of just over 3.4 miles. There are 2 long back straights opening up some passing opportunities into the braking zones, and we expect average lap speeds of around 123 miles an hour. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Norris, Tsunoda, Sergio Perez and Russell, Ricciardo, Stroll, Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Leclerc, Schwartzman, Mr. Monaco and Latifi, Gasly, Giovinazzi, Valtteri Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou. Mazepin, they've taken a grid penalty. Lundgaard, Ocon and Mick Schumacher. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, let's finish the season with a strong effort.
Right, well here we are then, on the grid for the final time here in Season 2 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode here. We're going to go with a soft, medium, soft strategy today. Again, obviously as always, going pretty aggressive on the fuel as well there. The chance for safety car isn't too uncommon around Abu Dhabi as well. There is all the teams trying to stretch the car through the final race of the campaign. I'm hoping from P13 on the grid. Unlucky for some, hopefully not us. Fingers crossed we can try and score some points today there. We want to try and keep up with the Aston Martins and Carlos Sainz, but I think, yeah, unless we get a miracle, not looking the most likely there. I think we just need to play our own race and see where we end up there. But hopefully we can finish the season with our bang. Waiting on those 5 red lights for the final time here in Season 2 of our F1 2021 career mode. 5 red lights. And it is lights out, and away we go. Latifi straight past there. It hasn't been a good start as we head down towards turn 1 there. Schwartzman's straight up into the points as Latifi goes side by side with the Ferraris through the first couple of corners. As we're just trying to find some track space there. Back around the outside of Antonio Giovinazzi there as we head down the hill for the first time. Just getting a little bit congested here. Latifi and Leclerc actually banging wheels there. As we try to have a look right on the outside, Leclerc just spots us in his rearview mirror, and Charles Leclerc, yeah, it's just going backwards off the start of the Grand Prix on his medium tyres there, so not the start to the race he would have wanted. As look at Latifi attacking now Carlos Sainz in this Grand Prix there. Schwartzman, I think, is having a 9th place off the start as well. I think he's moved past Fernando Alonso. There's nowhere for us to go down into the chicane. Oh, almost contact between my... Oh, we've been tagged by Leclerc. I'm so sorry, Charles Leclerc there. I didn't think he'd stick the nose in, but it has gone a whole lot worse for Charles there than us. Somehow, I thought we were just going to get spun right around there as we tried to go for a switchback on the Canadian in front of us here, but heartbreak for Charles Leclerc at the start of this Grand Prix. is going to move back down the order there. We've got the Aston Martins in front going side by side, which is absolutely Constantina and everyone else up. Guan Yu Zhou just behind us trying to defend his position and his drive in Formula 1 as well here. It's all kicking off at the start of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. As look at this! Through Sector 3 there. Russell and Stroll, they've been neck and neck all season long, and it seems to be on track once more that these two are having a fantastic battle there. The Red Bulls, McLarens and Mercedes there leading the way at the end of the first lap, but the Stroll is into the pit lane at the end of lap 1 there, so that's going to move us up into P12 of the Grand Prix, and not what the Canadian wanted. Really do not want to be sat behind the Williams of Latifi for all too long in this Grand Prix. We need to start trying to make moves whilst the field is still bunched up as no, Schwartzman! Why? Oh! That is genuinely gutting for our teammate there. Final race of the year. If you guys remember back to Bahrain, he blew up on lap 2 there as well. And his disappointing season for Robert Schwartzman ends. He was running in the points early on. Whether he was able to hold on to it is a very different question there, but heartbreak for our teammate. I hate to see that. That is so gutting for our teammate there. We're going to have a look around the outside of Latifi though, try and move ourselves up into the points, but cannot believe what has been an up and down relationship with Renault this year has ended like that for our teammate. Sainz and Alonso as well as George Russell are just starting to pull away from us in this Grand Prix. Latifi though in that Williams, clearly he's still a bit insecure about whether he's getting a drive next year. Trying to prove his worth in the final race of the championship there. Same with Guan Yu Zhou just behind him. All these guys here really have got everything to prove and nothing to lose at this late stage of this campaign. But whether it's a bit too late is a very different question. Heartbreak though for Schwartzman, like we said, his 2021 Season 3 is very much up in the air for him at the moment and up in smoke in 2021 Season 2. Oh, we got more yellow flags out. It's Max Verstappen! From the lead of the Grand Prix, Verstappen out here in Abu Dhabi. What is going on with reliability early on in this Grand Prix? Like we said, everyone just trying to stretch the engine through the final race of the year there. And Verstappen, like we said, leading the way early on. Our second retirement in just 4 laps. Can't help but feel that currently George Russell is kind of dragging Alonso and Carlos Sainz along with him at the moment. Definitely feel like Sainz has got the pace, but yeah, Alonso in the middle there. I think if he wasn't with those guys, he would have probably fallen back towards us at this stage of the day. I'm really pushing like crazy early on, but we're not getting much out of it. We are pulling away from the guys behind them and building up some safety, but don't want to fall into no man's land like we did at Albert Park. Oh, Carlos Sainz into the pits rather early on in this Grand Prix, the end of lap 7. Same can be said for Ricciardo and Tsunoda.
Front is 7.9 seconds.
They're all going on to another set of mediums here as we're already struggling actually with overheating, I think. Yeah, I must admit, really struggling with the balance of the car still early on in this Grand Prix as we're just over 1/4 distance. Having to just try and get it over the curbs, but avoiding overheating the tyres as well. Though the team said we could go onto a 1-stop if we manage to get these to lap 13 and then go onto mediums to the end. There is no way we're going to try and drag these another 5 laps there. We're going to come in the end of lap 9, go on to those mediums. They should take us to about lap 19, and then we'll go on to another set of softs to the end and hopefully be really quick late on here. But yeah, there we go. We got Alonso and Russell in just 1 lap later. So that's going to give us a couple more spots there. The same with Lando Norris.
Give us the best in lap you can.
Norris was leading this Grand Prix, but Hamilton is apparently on the alternate strategy on the mediums. It always seems to be Perez and I that can really extend these stints quite deep into a Grand Prix, so reassuring to see he is still out there as well on his set of soft tyres. Big wobble as we head out through Sector 3 though, but yeah, we are going to dive in the end of this one. Hamilton though in on his mediums, so he hasn't been able to take those as far as I would have thought he would. Perez of course in as well. So, oh, you don't want to understeer into the pit wall on the way in. Get it slowed down nice and tidily though as we head into the pit lane. And we have got Latifi and Guan Yu Zhou behind us there, so Lando Norris I think is going to re-inherit the lead of this Grand Prix. We've held up Checo just a little bit here, which hopefully will give us a helping hand later on in this Grand Prix, but we need a nice, clean, tidy stop, which that is not. Come on, 3 seconds, go! Why the... Oh, it frustrates me. It frustrates me.
Clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Up through the pit lane exit, though. Again, I always say it, one of the only good things about this circuit. But we are going to come back out down in P12, but Alonso has actually been separated from George Russell here. They got Lungar between them. We need to try and close up and capitalise. Lundgaard actually seems to have the legs on Fernando Alonso at this stage of the Grand Prix there. Clearly feeling confident in his Alfa Romeo. He's, yeah, held him back after Alonso was down the inside through the first chicane there. So clearly, yeah, Lundgaard feeling brave. A couple more cars into the pits. I think that's Charles Leclerc as well as Giovinazzi. There we go, back him into the points for us. You love to see it. Oh, Alonso again trying to look around the outside though, Lundgaard, as they head down through chicane there. And I think this time around Alonso, has he pulled it off? No. Lundgaard's still having none of it. And we're going to try and get the pair of them on the exit out onto the back straightaway here. I think Alonso aware of it though, as we get a nice little run on the pair of them here. We're going to get DRS switched to the inside. There goes Lundgaard. No DRS for him. He's going to really struggle down the straightaway there. There goes Alonso as well. No top end speed in the Alpine, and a beautiful little double overtake there. Timed it beautifully, had the extra grunt down the straight. Of course, equal power unit to Alonso, so definitely running a bit less aero this weekend. And yeah, now I'm to P8 of this race. 3 seconds though back from George Russell. Sainz 6 seconds up the road, and of course those two we needed to beat today if we wanted to move ourselves up the order. Hamilton into the pits again there. What's Hamilton doing? Into the pits twice in like 3 laps. We're going to move him into P7 of this Grand Prix, but that seems very, very weird from Mercedes. Well, as we reach the halfway stage of this GP, my hunch was correct. George Russell, sorry, not George Russell, Fernando Alonso even, yeah, once he lost that DRS to George Russell, has not really been able to hang with any of us there. He's losing a good 6-7 tenths a lap to even me at the moment, as the gap to George is going up ever so slightly lap after lap. We're trying to hold close to the Aston Martin, just in the hopes that when we do make our final stop, he goes on to mediums, I go on to softs, then we've got a bit of an advantage still. Actually a little bit worried about fuel usage as well, to be honest. Haven't been in the red for very long here, but it is definitely getting worse and worse, so we might have to fuel save a little bit when we get round to the final leg.
Keep pushing, you're gaining on the car ahead.
So we'd like to hear from the team. We are just slowly starting to bring back down the gap to George Russell now. These medium tyres working rather nicely, I must admit, at this stage of the race. We're going to be boxing in end of lap 19 again, though, onto that final set of softs to drag us through, hopefully, to the flag. Yeah, if we could get George, though, here, that would be a really good sign of things to come ready for next season. Oh, Perez into the pits again there, so he's done a double soft stint early on in this GP. Bit interesting from the Mexican. But he is going to be going on to, I'm guessing, mediums. Yeah, there we go, to the end of this Grand Prix. Alonso now 5 seconds behind us. Oh, George Russell dives into the pit lane there as we get very, very loose through the final couple of corners. Pretty much everyone else now boxing again.
The pit window, you'll be on the softs.
So we are now going to be up into P2 of the Grand Prix, but we are, yeah, going to be boxing in at the end of this one.
Then come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Guess that's the only real upside, of course, of our teammate's unfortunate demise here, is the fact that we now don't have to worry about when he was going to pit in this Grand Prix. They still just cannot believe the bad luck Schwartzman's had all year long. And I really, yeah, would love to see him still on the grid next season. Just, he's not quick enough for us. Well, through the final couple of corners, Lando Norris into the pit lane once more. And so do we. Again, locking up on the way in, though, giving ourselves a bit of a scary moment. Just about to get it slowed down into the pit lane. Tsunoda, of course, is going to come back out ahead of us here, but I think it is Lando Norris who is leading this race at the moment. Hamilton, of course, is going to have to pit again. So fingers crossed we can stay ahead of him between now and the end of the Grand Prix. Then, no, I think Tsunoda is into the lead of the Grand Prix. 1.9 seconds stop for us. That's what we like to see. So could Tsunoda finish the year?
See these tyres through to the end now.
Yeah, could Tsunoda finish the year? Finally proven his worth in the world of Formula 1 here. We've come back out 9 to go, like we said, on those soft tyres. That was certainly a bit extreme on the pit exit here, but Tsunoda could be about to earn his drive with Mercedes ready for next year if he can defend from both of those McLarens. I said early on this season I thought he'd get 1 win by the end of the campaign, and I think I say that he might have already lost the place to the McLaren there. I think he's held on for now. But, yeah, I think they've both got the DRS on him. We've actually got the DRS, though, on George Russell. And I think, yeah, Daniel Ricciardo has now inherited the lead of the Grand Prix here. So Tsunoda might not keep that Mercedes seat. Let's see if we can get a run, though, on George as we head out onto the second part of the back straight there. Yep, Tsunoda's lost both places, I think. Lando Norris trying to move past him as well as we get a good run on George Russell. Up the inside, way too optimistic, though. We'll let George back through. And that was never quite going to work. There we go. 1 more lap. Hamilton into the pits for the final time in this race, so he's going to be trying to hunt us down late on here in, not Sakia, but definitely not in the right place there. Here in Yas Marina, instead, I probably ought to say. But yeah, we need to try and stick with George Russell.
The gap behind is 7.0 seconds.
Closing back in on George Russell again. So we head down the first part of the back straight. So into the final quarter of this race as well here. The gap half second, now 4/10, 3/10 of a second. We're getting in rapidly once more on the Aston Martin. He doesn't go defensive like I thought he would. This time around we get it slowed down a lot earlier there. Wheel to wheel with George Russell there, but we do squeak right around the outside there. And now up into P6 of this Grand Prix. But Hamilton only about 10 seconds back. He could be close by the end here. But we need to try and pull away from George Russell. Oh my... George! Oh, George Russell not wanting to give up on it just yet there. A massive send down through the chicane. No idea how I spotted that. But George Russell, yeah, not giving it up. Just over 5 laps to go, though, here from Abu Dhabi. And we are still short on fuel. Late on here. Hamilton now just 6 seconds behind as well. So he's going to be trying to close up to Russell and I at a rapid rate of knots as well here. But we need to really try and fuel save late on in this Grand Prix. The thing is, I don't want to get stopped behind George again. This car doesn't handle too well in the dirty air here in Abu Dhabi, so I think we need to be really, really careful here and almost do a Hamilton from 2016 on Nico Rosberg. Not just because we're winning the Grand Prix, because we definitely aren't, but more just so we can save a bit of fuel. 4 laps to go and Hamilton, the gap now down to 2.2 seconds there. We have got the fuel back into the green, but it is nowhere near enough spare still left in the tank to see us through to the end of the Grand Prix. If we keep pushing, you can see it just about dips into the red once more. And we're having to lift and coast absolutely everywhere there. Horrible run through the chicane there. And that's basically going to put Hamilton on our gearbox here as the tyres starting to wear just a little bit more as well. Try and get the slipstream breakaway even, I should say, from George Russell there. But surely this time round, he's going to be able to attack. There's nothing we can do. We're using all the battery we possibly can. But George Russell flies right around the outside there. Can we keep the nose up the inside into the corner? Yes, we can. And Hamilton just watching this from behind there. Around the outside of George Russell we go. And Hamilton now surely is going to try and look past the Aston Martin as well here. We're battling Mercedes future versus Mercedes present at this late stage here in Abu Dhabi. It's a British brawl for P6 here as the other Brit on this grid still leads the way, if I'm not mistaken. But can we hang on to the end? Just 3 laps to go. Still just trying to drain the entire battery there, but you can see just how much Russell and Hamilton close up. My whole sort of aim at the moment is to try and help George Russell along a bit late on here in Abu Dhabi, just so he can try and defend from Lewis here. If we somehow break the DRS, it might be worth just dropping him back in within sort of 9/10 of us, just so he gets the little bit extra down the straight, because I don't think there's anything we can do against Lewis if he gets past George. 2 laps to go here from Abu Dhabi, and I didn't expect this one to heat up in such a fashion. Rather frustrating at this stage of the Grand Prix. I can't remember the exact points everyone was on in our little battle. I'm trying to work out whether we will get the jump on Lance Stroll if things finish as they are.
Okay,
Oh, I've clicked the wrong button. No, I don't want Jeff to... Well, I mean, I do generally, but I don't need Jeff quiet in the final lap here of Abu Dhabi.
As things stand, we'll be 9th in the championship.
That's what we like to hear. So we would get the jump on Lance Stroll if we were able to hang on to this position. But I don't think we can afford to drop to P7 there. George Russell thought about it as we head through Sector 3 here. But we're right on board for the final lap here of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Of course, traditions on the channel. But this one, we are defending with all our worth from the Aston Martin of George Russell and the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton there. 9 Formula 1 World Championships behind us. And who knows how many more it will be in the future as well. As we head it through turn 1 for the final time. Just don't want to do anything stupid on this final lap. I know we've got enough top end speed in the car. This thing has been a weapon all year long. It's what gave us that win all the way back in Azerbaijan. That seems like almost a lifetime ago at the start of the season there. It's what's gifted us a couple of podiums as well as the year's gone on, and what should give us P6 overall in the Constructors World Championship, at the end of the year there. Can we defend from George Russell for one final time? You can see the Aston Martin gaining in on us as we head down the back straight, but surely he's not close enough this time around there. Hamilton just waiting in the wings. Don't think he wants to risk anything in the final race of the season there. Bit of a mistake through the chicane, but Russell nowhere to be found on the exit of the corner here. Hamilton now might be able to have a look on George Russell as we head down the back straight for the final time. There goes Hamilton to the outside of George Russell there, but George having none of it as they head through the chicane there. So George Russell willing to defend from Lewis Hamilton in the final lap here of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. There it is, Daniel Ricciardo who wins the Grand Prix. So I got the McLaren the wrong way round again there, but Ricciardo and McLaren stake their intent for Season 3, a 1-2 in the final race of the year there. Yuki Tsunoda picks up a podium as well there, good to see from the young Mercedes driver. But round in the final couple of corners, we have defended right to the bitter end here in Abu Dhabi. Round the final turn, P6, what an end to the year.
It's been a roller coaster season then, but they can go into the winter with their heads held high after an emphatic victory here today. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Why, oh why, Codemasters, is that still happening at the end of a career mode race? I'll be honest with you guys, there's no way I'm going to sit through another Abu Dhabi Grand Prix there at the end of the season. I've simulated the results. It doesn't change anything in terms of the bigger picture stuff at the end of the Grand Prix there relative to the real results we would have got there. Turns out the game lied to me anyway. We weren't going to be P9 in the championship. We were still going to lose out to Lance Stroll there. But yeah, I'm gutted with that. And why on earth that's still an issue here on F1 2021 at the end of the day there. But Hamilton still wraps up the World Championship. Ricciardo and Norris would have been the other way around at the end of the year there. Charles Leclerc P4 ahead of Verstappen and Tsunoda there. Sainz would have got the jump on Stroll. George Russell, I think, would have also got the jump on Stroll, but of course it is only teammates that's swapping around, so won't affect anything in the Constructors' battle as well there. And I'd much rather we appreciate that brilliant end to what was the real race in my eyes, rather than the game crashing and us having a bit of a snooze fest return to Abu Dhabi as well there. You can see further down the order though, we do finish the season in P10. We would have finished P10 anyway there, actually 2 points behind Lance Stroll if he hadn't have scored, and obviously we would have taken home our 8 points as well there. So yeah, we would have finished 2 behind him nonetheless. Gasly in 11th, just behind us. A mega season from the AlphaTauri man. I honestly thought you guys would vote for him as our teammate for next year, but apparently not there. Alonso in P12, massively outscored his teammate Esteban Ocon there. You consider Ocon did take that win in Mexico, and that was about 8. That was basically all he did. Oh yeah, I'll be honest with you guys there as well. Sergio Perez, a heartbreaking year down in P13. Can't see Red Bull signing him ready for next season there. Ocon might just have held onto his seat with that race victory ahead of Bottas there, who dragged everything out of that Williams and will become to 2-1-2 Motorsport for the new year as well there. Guan Yu Zhou and Schwartzman, both their seats in question at the end of the year there as well. A rough season for the young Chinese driver as well as Schwartzman in his first full season of Formula 1. Never really had the luck on his side there. Lundgaard and Mazepin both got points on the board, leaving just Latifi, Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher that weren't able to score at the end of the year there. Mercedes, though, clear out front at the end of the day. Of course, the Constructors' Championship didn't get affected at all by those final race results there. McLaren, once again, runner-up ahead of Ferrari this time around, and Aston Martin there. Red Bull disappointed, I'm sure, with P5. A lot of that, yeah, surely down to Sergio Perez's massive underperformance over the course of the year there. We come through for P6 at the end of the season as well, ahead of the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly there. Alpine and Williams 8th and 9th. Alfa Romeo and Haas, every team scored points at the end of the year as well there. You absolutely love to see it at the end of Season 2. But like I said, yeah, apologies for that disappointment at the end of the Grand Prix. But Codemasters, yeah, surely have got to do something with that. It doesn't happen often. I'll give him credit on F1 2021, but it has happened a couple of times, and it is still very, very frustrating to have to deal with on this game as well there. But yeah, a massive thank you again for 18,000 subscribers. We're going to do a couple of races from the Williams Road to Glory as well over the next couple of days as we build up the hype ready for Season 3 as well. But of course, Bottas joining 2-2 Motorsport. I'm excited to see all the driver transfer news ready for the new season as well. Thank you all for the love on this series. It just wouldn't be the same without you guys as well. And yeah, we'll be back very, very soon for pre-season testing back in Sakir. You guys do not want to miss it.
A massive thank you for the continued support from our channel members, featuring The Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aiden, Eustathios, Kato and Sean for their continued support on the channel. None of the videos would be possible without their support, and if you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you click the join button below.